Hello, Facebook. Clean my shades here. I may or may not. I may upload this on YouTube. And I really want to make a title or put in caption of this video, "Don't panic, everything is fine," right? I really was going to, put a title in that people probably want to hear and see and say. But you know what? I'm just not about knowing the facts and ignoring them. I'm just not about knowing what's happening in the economy. Let me adjust this phone. Ignoring the signs. Truth be told, let's get on the Henrietta Lacks real quick and the coronavirus and blacks not contracting it. I don't mean any harm. I don't care how much you try to show the truth or facts to black people. I don't get it. News broke out today that NBA star Mitchell was tested positive for coronavirus, and black people started putting it on their timeline in a celebratory type thing, like, "See, I told you we can get it. Look. Yay, we can get it now. Look, he has it." I don't understand. I really don't understand that mindset. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand that mindset. You're talking about, look at the numbers ratio, if it is true. I want to read the articles to state, why did they even test him? Did he have any symptoms? Or did they just test the entire Utah Jazz team because the French player that tested positive also had it? But, my main thing is I'm looking at the mindset of our people. You tell them that genetically we are not like other races. Our DNA, our melanin, and our skins automatically dismisses us from certain diseases. You don't believe it? Watch the documentary on Henrietta Lacks. Watch that documentary if you think this is just conspiracy theories type stuff, false information. Just watch that on Henrietta Lacks, where scientists stole her cell membranes. It starred Oprah Winfrey, right? Because her genetic cell makeup was so combative to different types of disease. And so when you don't know that information, of course, you think you are equally genetically made. But according to Psalms in the Bible, it says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And if you think your DNA matches any other races, then you have not studied your history. So if it is true, and I'm really going to be following this player. Some other people tried to share an article with me about this young black male that recovered from coronavirus. Right? This was a recovery. He said he didn't want to return back to Africa. I thought that article discredited itself because, number one, it said recovered, and number two, there was no clear-cut evidence, right, that this young black man actually had it. If you go to the doctor with flu-like symptoms and and they tell you it's something else, you're going to believe it because you're believing the doctor. But at any rate, if he did retract it, the article stated that he recovered from it. He doesn't have it anymore. So when you look at the ratio of people, African Americans, Black, when you look at the numbers and the statistics that states that Africa, scientists are trying to wonder why Africa is the only continent not affected by this virus, and that, let's say, Donovan Mitchell, the one chosen child, I don't know, is not affected, or the one chosen person, I don't know if his first name Donovan or not, but Mitchell. People, look at the numbers. I mean, to me, these things is just common sense. It shouldn't even be an argument at this point. You're talking about 1 out of 98,000, and you're arguing, oh yeah, we can get it, we sure can get it. See there? Look at this one token person. He got it. He's of our race. I told you. Let's have a party. You know, probably the most corona that, you know, is the drinking corona. But, I mean, I'm trying to see what the mental disconnect is. One out of 98,000. One person out of 98,000, and people, Blacks, African American, on social media sharing that post like we should be celebrating because, hey, we can get this too. I really don't understand that mindset. I promise you, I am at a loss. I am really at a loss. But join me live. I'm not going to stay on this broadcast very long. Tonight live, I am planning on teaching how to get an 800 credit score. Why am I not teaching how to get an 850 or 750? Because my credit score is an 800. So I'm going to teach you personally. Also, if you are, another thing I don't understand, people are saying, I'm investing, I'm buying stocks now because they are on sale. I'm buying the dip. People, stocks are not on sale. The stock market is crashing. It's a difference. It's a difference between buying the dip and something on sale. Do you know your money could be tied up for months because of what's going on in the economy behind the stock market right now? For example, people that have Robinhood apps, Robinhood has crashed 4 times. The stock market itself, twice this week, crashed, shut down for 15 minutes, right, time. And you're talking about you're buying stocks cheap now. Do you not know where this economy is headed? Do you not understand that OPEC agreement between Russia and Saudi Arabia has now dropped oil pricing or prices, which means a lot of people in the oil and gas sector that work at these oil rigs out of Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, North Dakota, and Oklahoma are at risk of losing their jobs because they're, I'm passing the gas station at 199 because their company now may have to go into bankrupt because they cannot afford for the price of the oil barrels to be that low. They cannot afford for the prices of the oil barrels to be that low. So, you know, like, I'm going to go over some stats right now in reference to the similarities of where we are now in 2020 and where we were in 2008 when we entered into the housing market crash. With this is going to be a global impact. It's not just going to be bad mortgage loans, right? In 2008, the Fed first rate cut was in October. In 2019, the Fed rate cut was in October. In 2008, Bush wanted the Fed to lower the rates and offer a $700 stimulus package, right? A $700 stimulus package. So if you remember this spring of 2008, you got a $700. Right now, President Trump is going before Congress, and they more than likely will approve it for a payroll tax cut, which means beginning of the spring, right, of this year, 2020, you could see less federal taxes taken out of your paycheck. And so that means an increase of your paycheck. But on the back end, less federal taxes taken out of your paycheck also will mean that it can maximize either what you will owe in taxes when you file taxes, or it can minimize or reduce the amount that you usually get back in the form of a tax refund. So the strategy I'm, informing people to do in that event is to add a home-based business to your economic portfolio so you can get more tax deductions to claim for your taxes to even that out. So then, now we also have banks changing the credit scoring model, which means that we are now widely using the FICO 8 for vehicle approval from banks or credit unions to get finance for vehicle. Most credit cards are using FICO 9. Some are still using the FICO 8. But to get approved for credit card, the FICO 9 or 8 is being used. And then for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, you have FICO 3, 4, or 5. So a lot of people don't know that there are different credit scores. And all of them are FICO scores, Fair Isaac Corporation. Not that Credit Karma score that you see that says Vantage Score or your Credit Sesame, right? So you need to know when looking at your credit score that you have a true FICO. So I will teach on that tonight live. I know I'll be on YouTube. And so, I just wanted to let you know that these are early signs that we are, in fact, entering a recession. And if you have money to be tied into the stock market because you feel like you are buying stocks for cheap, and if you can afford to have your money tied up and lose money for months by buying these stocks that are still going on a downward spiral, then that's you. Because some people think, oh, this is just a temporary dip. I can buy them cheap now. In 3 months, no, it's not. The signs are all around you. Bitcoin, I don't know what its current price is. Bitcoin crashed all the way to $5,000 earlier this morning. So I definitely think the run for Bitcoin is over. However, I do, still believe in some of the altcoins, the smaller coins, in the crypto market, the altcoins, simply because our dollar is losing its value. And that's another lesson in its entirety about the dollar and losing its value. And so digital payment and movement, especially with this global recession happening right now, right before our eyes, is going to have to be in place for exchange of currency. Oh, another thing, I'm on my way to the bank now because of this. Wells Fargo, if you've been keeping up with the economy and the news, was recently found to have created false accounts with their banks, right? U.S. Bank this morning, U.S. Bank have been found of creating false accounts. So, you know, I made a video discussing how, you know, you shouldn't trust banks because banks have money freezes and credit freezes, and you can't access your money during recessions. I'll put the video link in this comment section on Facebook and on YouTube. I'll put it in the description. But in 1987, the stock market crashed. There were people going, and I used to use the Great Depression in the 30s as an example, but I want to use a more recent example. In 1987, during the stock market crash, people were going to banks to retrieve their cash money, and banks had a freeze on their money and would not release their cash. 1987, not too far in the past, right? Not as far as the Great Depression. And so if you trust, and also you need to know about credit freeze. Credit freeze in 2008, during the housing market crash, they put a freeze on credit, meaning that the banks were not lending any money. Now, credit unions seem to thrive and still lend money in depression or recessions, right? But banks was not lending any money, so you had people without jobs, could not access their cash, and could not even get loans in banks to hold them over the long run. This is something I just received in the mail today. I'm going to take full advantage of because I'm actually going to pull my cash out. 0% balance transfer checks. I think I have my address covered up. 0% balance transfer checks. I'm taking advantage of the 0% transfer until February of 2021 while the banks are lending. So I'm forewarning people that now is not the time for you to sit back if you have a credit score under 680 and say, well, you know, I'm just going to wait and see this summer if my credit score is going to drop, if I'm going to be a product of the new scoring model, if I'm going to be one out of the 40 million Americans whose credit score is going to drop 20 or 40 points. If your credit is not in good standing now, I would definitely, one person I think to have a great financial life that you need on your team is definitely a credit strategist, a credit specialist. Why do I say that? Because contrary to what some people believe, bad credit happens to good people. I'm going to say that again. Contrary to what some people believe, bad credit happens to good people. You just cannot get good credit by paying your bills on time. Right? Sometimes pop-up collections are placed on credit report. And if you're not a person that has some type of credit monitoring system, you won't even know that a collection until you go somewhere to try to get approved for a vehicle or a mortgage, and they inform you, hey, you're not approved, you have this collection account. Now, I'm not saying that's the case all of the time. Some people are fully aware of collections on their account that they ignore and they don't pay. Especially those under $100. You know that collection agency probably more than likely won't take you to court. You'll let that just get on your credit score and drop it. And then when you try to get a home or a vehicle, you can't get approved. Right? You can't get approved. So over less than $100 account that you could have easily paid and avoided. You know. But contrary to that, not everybody is getting credit or to get a house or a vehicle. Some people are actually using the bank's money to invest. And unfortunately, some people are actually using the bank's money to invest in stocks. They got in debt to invest in stocks, and now the stock market has crashed. And, you know, my heart goes out to those people. And, you know, that's why I like investing in real tangible assets, tangible things, real estate, silver, which I think the price of silver is also down today. So now is a great time to invest in silver, because whenever the dollar drops or depreciates, the price of silver and gold increases, right? So, looking out on the economy with the quote-unquote virus. Another thing about that coronavirus, you all need to understand, on Clorox and Lysol, it says human coronavirus. They're calling this COVID-19, which the theory or the information that they put out about it, you know, they wanted to make sure that Lysol or Clorox wouldn't help this virus. But the theory behind it is that it came from animals in a marketplace out of Wuhan, China. In a marketplace that sold, you know, meat or produce, and this virus was contracted or retrieved from there. And kind of like the swan flu theory, that, you know, when that epidemic came out, it was because infected pigs. And, you know, that's the theory behind this. So Lysol and Clorox selling out. And I understand, because before I understood and did my own research about this, I really thought the Lysol and Clorox would help as well. Until I did my due diligence, and then I started asking myself questions like, why are they showing silhouettes of the victims? Why are they not showing faces? Why is Africa the only continent with no reported cases? And now that reported cases are coming to Africa, then why are there people traveling from Europe or Italy that's coming back to Africa, but no people living in Africa? Then I started asking myself questions like, also, why are there more cases in California and places that have 5G Wi-Fi, right, in the States versus any other state? You know, so a lot of people don't even know where these 5G towers are placed in states of America. But where these 5G towers are placed are the highest cases of this quote-unquote virus, right? So, join me live tonight, 800 credit score. See how all of this is going to affect the economy moving forward. It's going to be a while before the economy, and actually it's long overdue for a recession. That's what I'm going to cover live. We are overdue. The economy always resets itself every 10 years, but this is going to be a harder hit, one that's going to go down in the history books, one that you've never seen before, because it's not just the coronavirus and the global recession, but we have people, again, in the oil and gas sector that may lose jobs. We have people, you might say, well, I'm not invested in the stock market, right? You have 401k. You might have a 401k. What's happening with your 401k? You know, and people that's in the oil and gas sector, their 401k was public offerings, meaning that their 401k was tied into the stock of that company. It was not diversified. So as the company stocks went down, Shell, you know, all of these gas and oil company stocks, so did their 401k, and people lost thousands. And so, you know, I know if you don't notice the history of things and the economy, it may seem like, hey, this is just something that's going to fly over, and by the summer everything will be up and going again. Now, people, all signs show you that that's not happening. All signs show you that that's not happening. On top of trillions of dollars of student loan debt right now, on top of the repo market, and I'm not just talking about vehicles, also the housing repo. The feds just cut the interest rate on mortgage loans, you know, trying to give you money away for free at the lowest interest. So now you don't have your imports and export. You know, China was our largest, right, importing country. And so where goes China and Saudi Arabia, so goes the United States. Because Saudi Arabia holds the oil. They hold, quote unquote, the Trump card. That's how the dollar that we print in the United States received the tag of the petrodollar. So if their oil prices are depreciated, then so is the value of our dollar, right? So, hey, like I said, you know, I don't understand the mindset of blacks. 1 out of 98,000 cases, and then that one they was doing. I mean, they was showing on their social media like it was like we were celebrating Black History Month. See, I told you we can get it, but just look at the facts, people. I still don't look at the facts. Why is Africa the only continent not affected? Or why is science is trying to figure out why Africans are not affected? Why is it one person that the media put out there today out of 98? Do you ever ask yourself those thought-provoking questions? I don't get it. Why aren't you asking yourself 1 out of 98,000? 1 out of 98,000. I mean, to me, it's common sense. But now people will, you know. And if they ever come out with a vaccine or a test kit, I'm not taking it. You know, I don't want it to transfer to me by any other methods. You know, that's just my personal thing. I believe in my melanin on my skin, and it can't be the 5G waves can't affect me. I'm not taking a test kit. I'm not taking a vaccine. I've never taken a vaccine for the flu, and as a result, I've never received it. So, hey, I'm signing off. Never, ever received the flu. Let me get my phone. I'm at this light now. See, on my way now to, you see, the wells to the Fargo. Yeah, let's get my money out. Protecting myself. Hey, you all have a great evening. I'll see you tonight live, probably around 8 o'clock Central Standard Time.